welcome back to my tutorial series on how to use ACK or Fight the Dragons level editor. Last time my video went pretty long. Gonna try to keep this one a bit shorter, but what we're gonna be covering in this one is props. So more specifically kind of set design, what all the different functions are, and more specifically some of the interactables such as the teleporters. So let's get right into it. First I'm going to quickly change some of the landscape to build an imitation house. So I'm going to select a couple wood types here. Generic house. Let's knock that out. If I can do this. Alright, so got my selection, raise the house up. Alright, so now we have something to work with. I'm going to actually make a quick duplicate of it over here, and you'll see the purpose of it later in the video for the actual teleportation. Give me just a moment here. And what I like to do for these is I will actually make these outline the actual house sizes so you have a little bit more room to work with, because effectively this will turn out to be the inside of the house. Alright, so props. Let's get into it now. So the biggest part of props that you'll probably use for set design is going to be your static. You end up actually having a lot to work with in this option. You have interactables, which are things that the player actually interacts with, such as doors that they can walk through, gates that require keys or triggers to unlock, keys which are for the gates, movable, which are barrels that you can pick up and place on different locations. These are typically for like pressure plate puzzles. Then you have like sliding, which when the player gets close to or interacts with, ends up moving to the side, uncovering something. Then you have like levers and pressure plates. Once again, the barrels kind of go with the pressure plates, so you can leave a barrel on a pressure plate and have weight on it, or the lever you just pull. Teleporters are the big thing that we're going to be using in this one, so I'm going to go ahead and throw that on the side of our house here, and on the inside of the house here. Now, as you can see, with the teleporter door, it's actually a block itself, and the door goes on the inside of that block, so you have to rotate it so that it is against a surface. You don't have to, but it will look aesthetically odd if you don't. But yeah, so that is the generic teleporter. Just let me move back here. You also have teleporter pads, which you can link together. You've got ladders, you've got stairs, you've got teleporter fades, which is the type of teleportation, and you've got trapdoors. So typically what I like to use is the trapdoors and the actual like doors the most, simply because one's good for change in elevation with stairs, and the other is good for just room to room. So I'm going to actually quickly build another quick little structure here. Let's use the, I don't know, let's use the old slab. Floor, and then let's use slime walls. Alright, so this will be another little area. And then go back to props, go back to interactables, and let's do the stairs up, because we had the trapdoor over there before. Alright, so quickly I'm going to go over the teleporters here. So since we have 4 teleporters, how you link them is by going in and selecting a teleporter once it's placed. So as you can see, I have one here. I am actually in the teleporter selection. You can actually have any of these pulled up. So for the sake of it, I'm just going to have teleporter move on, which I don't have any, but it shows that I can select this. So as long as you're in the teleporter selection menu here with any of these teleporters, you can actually select a teleporter object. So I'm going to go here, and as you can see, you can choose who can access the teleporter. Everyone allows you, the player, as well as enemies to access the teleporter, or you can have it just be enemies that can access the teleporter, or just you that can access the teleporter. I typically go with just a player. If an enemy goes in there, they don't usually have the targeting to come back out, typically because their location has moved so far away that they're no longer targeting the player. It's a good way for you to kind of escape, but it makes some of the enemy tracking difficult unless you have them specifically set to patrol into a teleporter to kind of run away, which you can do kind of as a semi-cinematic interaction. But that's up to you. Typically I go with just a player. Bidirectional means that it is not a one-way. It means that you can both exit and enter from this. Only once allows you to only go through once. Only send means that it's just a sender. So those are the different types. The only once is more, or I'm sorry, not only once. Wow. Only receive is a receiver, so you can either do one way where you have a sender and a receiver, or you have a bidirectional. Either way, regardless of what you do, you have to connect it through the connection. So I have selected the connection, and I'm going to go through and select the trapdoor. So now the trapdoor and my stairs are linked to one another. However, my doors are not. So I have to go through, select one door, go to the other door, and select it. Now my doors are linked to one another, as well as my trapdoor is linked to my staircase. And as you can see, with this interactable object, you can also do on teleport. So when somebody teleports to or from this location, you can go through and use game logic to activate or trigger something else. But we're not going to get into that. That's going to be a whole separate video, possibly multiple videos, because it does get pretty complex. It is visual game scripting, so there's a lot that goes with it. So we'll touch on that on a later basis. Anyways, so now we've got our teleporters. So let's hop in game real quick and try them out. So I go up to the door, press X, and now I'm in here. I go to the trap door, and now I'm in our little basement. And then because they're bi-directional, I can leave. Also, something to note is I did not make this door or the trap door just player, so any entity could use it. So let's quickly go back and make sure that all of them are set to player, just because I like to be thorough, as should anybody on their levels. So as you can see, by changing one, it changes both of them. So now both the door and the trap door to the basement only allow players to go through, and not players and enemies, or enemies. So just the players can get through. Alright, so that is teleporters in a nutshell. Let's get into some of the other objects. So let's throw up a gate here real quick. And we will throw it on... oh, no, it's not a gate. It's... oh, which one was it? I think this one requires the door. Yes. So the doors are the ones that can use the keys. Gates are ones that use logic. So you can have a door that also is locked until the or you can just have it locked in general. So no key is you don't need anything to go through. Let me actually make multiple doors here. So this one locked off, no key, so we'll be able to go through that right away. This one will be gold key, and then this one will be locked. So locked, we will never be able to open. If we wanted to use gates, go to a gate, and as you can see, there is the same aesthetic gate as there is a door, so you can kind of fudge it with how they look. However, the icons are above the doors if they are locked or if there are keys, so just keep that in mind. Or you can go with other alternatives for doors. Anyway, so let's go back into Interactables. We now have our keys, so let's throw our key in our basement. So you now have to go and claim the key from the basement to unlock this gate. And then for this gate, let's pull up some of the should we do pressure plates? Sure, let's do a pressure plate. Let's do connection. Alright, so now you can see that 2 pressure plates are required to open this door. That means as long as both of these are pressed, this door will open. Let's jump into game and I can show you exactly what that means. Alright, so this gate, no key required, it's not locked, so we can go right through. This one, you can see the key flashes above it saying you need the gold key. And then this one, you just can't enter. It's locked. This one is locked until you step on both. Now, as you can see, like, since they're so close together, I can kind of go back and forth between. Or, I can take one of these barrels, place it on one, and step on the other. However, once I step off, the gate closes. So if we have a second barrel, I can put both of them there, and then I'm able to pass through. Now let's go grab that key that we placed in the basement. And now we can simply walk through the gate, now that we have the gold key. And that is pretty much gates in a nutshell. Another way to activate the gate versus using the pressure pads would be to use a switch, which you just put on a wall, and then you have to go up and press X to use it. Not going to really show you that because it does the same thing as the pressure plates. It's just a flip switch instead of something that always has to be on it. Another way to kind of activate the pressure plates would be through a block logic, which, once again, it's part of the visual scripting. I'm not really going to cover it, but that way you can make it so it has to be barrels and not the player, so they all have to have an active presence, or you can make it so as long as they are all touched once, it can fire and open the door, so you don't necessarily need the barrels at that point. But anyways, let's go back into now, since we've covered interactive, gone over destructibles in the last one. Chests are something that's important. You have 4 types of chests. You have your key chests, which spawn keys. You have loot chests, which based on how many enemies you've killed or how many bosses you've defeated, will spawn various loot. Typically they'll just spawn gold unless you've defeated a couple more like bosses. Otherwise, yeah, they'll primarily just spawn gold. But if you have defeated enough enemies or defeated some bosses, they'll also spawn loot weapons. So like weapons, armor, etc. And then you also have the treasure chest. The treasure chest, you can only place 1 per level, much like the start and finish locations. So if you try to place more than 1, it will just move the location. There are also health, or not health, potion chests, if I can speak today, sorry. And these chests always have potions in them. Now whether they are health potions or rage potions is completely random, but they do usually spawn too. So let's now go in and open up all of our chests. So as you can see, we have this gold key chest that spawns a gold key, so now we don't need to go to our basement. We have a loot chest, which we got lucky and actually got a piece of armor. We have our potion chest, which spawned a single health potion. And then we have our treasure chest, which spawned an item. Usually these will spawn at least one item, depending on, once again, how many enemies you've killed or bosses you've defeated. They will spawn more. So that is pretty much it for the interactive props. I'm probably going to cut this video short, just because I didn't want to make it too long. When I start up the next video, it will be on the statics, which are much more of the set design. I'm sorry I couldn't get to that in this video. However, I will go straight into that in the next video. Once again, thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful to you. And once again, if there's anything that you want help with or would like to see me kind of cover, just leave it in the comments and I will try to either respond directly to you through the comments or in a video. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video.